Greetings. Hello. You have your ticket? Oh, you don't have one? No problem at all. Just hit the subscribe button. Come on in. Hey everyone, DFG here with Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, I want to do a quick little video here, and I'm going to start off the video by talking about conflict. When someone when someone is conflating an issue. And here's my prime example of what I'm talking about here. And that is, I was just recently looking at the situation with the Virginia Governor, Ralph Northam. I think is how you pronounce his name, Northam. Now, Mr. Northam obviously is under pressure right now, under the gun right now for a 1984 Eastern Virginia Medical School Facebook picture. And inside of that picture, if you know what I'm talking about, if you don't, like I always tell you, do your research. He's standing next to another individual in a Klan outfit, and Mr. Governor Northam is wearing blackface. I mean, he's so black you can't you can't quite see him. All you can see, I guess, is the white of his eyes. And interestingly enough, that he is now pressure is being applied to him to step down or to resign from his position. How do I feel about that? You know, I guess I had conflicting thoughts about it, and now my thoughts are no longer conflicting, especially now that they're trying to conflate the issue. And what I mean by conflating is that they're talking about this morning that and use a comparison of someone who would have been pro-abortion, you know, back in the day, and now all of a sudden that same, anti-abortion back in the day, and how that person would be responded to today if someone would have found out that this person, you know, believed that a woman did not have the right, excuse me, you know, to take the life of a child, you know, still inside of her womb. And I'm sitting here saying, now, what kind of reach and stretch is that? How do those two things conflate? That's like sticking your hand up your ass and pulling your brain down to your lower intestines and shitting it out. That's about how dumb that is to me in terms of how you mix those two things together. Because in 1984, this guy would have been approximately 24 years old. Now that's not what we would consider someone who has reached full maturity, but it's damn sure not someone that we would look at and say, well, he's just a child, a college kid. At 24 years old myself, and most of you probably are in similar situations. At 24 myself, I was the father of 2 kids. And one thing you could be assured of, that I would have had no notion in my mind, I'll give you an example, to go put on a Hitler uniform, you know, at a yearbook event, and grabbed a Jewish friend of mine's and had him standing by an oven. Let me say that again. You could be assured that I would not have put on a Hitler uniform, grabbed a Jewish friend of mine, had him standing next to an oven. There's no damn way that would have not, you know, come to me at some point that, oh, hell no, I'm not doing any such thing. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Why would I be advocating, you know, killing anybody? Why would I advocate that? Why would I want to kill a Jewish person under any circumstances? Zero for his because of his ethnicity. Yet, when you think about the history of the Ku Klux Klan, now let's be clear. The Ku Klux Klan, these are the same guys who killed Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman. You know, in 1965 down in Meridian, Mississippi. Remember the civil rights workers? All 3 of them, 2 whites, 1 black, 2 Jewish kids, and 1 white kid, 1 black kid. Remember they were shot in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and buried in a big earthen dam grave. That was the Ku Klux Klan who did that. And that was in 1965. This guy did this in 1984. And if he was, that means he would have been somewhere around, again, think about it. That happened when he was 3 years old, talking about the murdering of those 3 civil rights workers, just to give you a perspective about the Klan and what his mindset should have been. He would have been 3 years old when that happened. Obviously too young to acknowledge that. Okay, no, I'm sorry. He would have been about 6 years old. You know, too young to acknowledge that at that time. But in 1984, he would have been about 24 years old. So surely this guy graduated from Virginia Military Institute, was a military officer, so I know he would have known about American history without question. And yet he still, after he got out of the military, after he graduated VMI, went to Eastern Virginia Medical Institute, which is a very high regarded, medical college, and put on blackface, standing next to somebody wearing a Klan uniform, and somehow these idiots, and in this case Fox News, these idiots on Fox News somehow conflated that with someone being anti-abortion. See, that's disrespectful. Just as disrespectful again as it would have been for me to put on a Nazi uniform, you know what I'm saying, with a gun in my hand, pointing it at a Jewish, man, woman, or child, standing next to a massive oven, thinking that somehow or another that's okay. And somehow conflating these two things, again, the Klan, blackface, with somebody being anti-abortion. It's disrespectful to copper color people. Because you should know the history of the Ku Klux Klan in America. You should know that history. And that history has nothing positive attached to that history. Brutality, lynching, maiming, raping, killing, discriminating. And I could go on and on and on. So yes, Virginia and your governor needs to be out of there. And any righteous person, if you're a Caucasian, let me help you out a little bit. If you're a white person, just to give you perspective, okay? Because some of you guys I suspect may not be. I don't try to assume, okay? I love you as fellow human beings. But some of you whites might be saying, what's the big deal? Well, how would you feel if maybe someone showed posters of Native Americans, with hatchets, like, with Custer, remember that? You know what I'm saying? What was it? When Custer and his men were killed. I want to say Little Bighorn. But anyway, let's just say, if you saw a Native American, somebody posed with a Native American outfit on, standing next to a young white girl with a hatchet in his hand, with his hand on her hair, ready to scalp her. Would you think that's okay? Just tell me, in your right mind. In your right mind, are you telling me that you would be, hey, that's no problem. Let that Native American, be in a position of power in one of the largest states in the Union, Virginia, and put himself in a position that one day he could possibly become president of these United States if he wanted to. You telling me that Native American guy would be a guy you would say, oh, no problem. He was only 25 years old when he did that. Yeah, I know he disrespected, whites here. I know he disrespected, white women and children and implied that scalping them and raping them would be okay. You know what I'm saying? I know he did that, but, that was a long time ago. That was 25 years ago. If you do, you're a damn fool. Now, how about that? But I don't think you're a damn fool, because I think you would understand exactly what I said. I think I painted a good enough picture for everyone. And again, as a copper color American, it's offensive to me as a man that anybody would conflate, someone being anti-abortion to this. Someone standing there in blackface next to a Klansman, posting a picture. And that tells you a lot about, Eastern Virginia Medical School. So any of you people who talking about going to that school, or anybody who belongs to that school, where's accountability for the university? The board of directors, the people who put that picture in the yearbook, the faculty who are okay, the alumni who are okay with that picture being in their yearbook. I think that says more about that culture down there than the governor standing there like an idiot next to a Klansman. We could be in a situation that's, majored in the minors. Maybe the minor is his idiotic ass standing there in blackface, but maybe the major is the university and the culture and environment that's acceptable there. Maybe that's where the protest should begin, not to excuse him and his behavior as well. Now, that's my take on it. Excuse my passion and my voice, but guys, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. You're going to conflate that. You know, slaughtering of innocent people for no other reason but because they were Native American, copper-colored people. Some call them African Americans, some call them black. For no other reason, the type of persecution they got here in this country. For no other reason but that. And you're going to conflate that with somebody having an abortion or not having an abortion? Get your heads out of, not us. I like to think we're the common sense group, but time will tell, right? Love you guys. Thank you for listening. Bye.